It doesn't get better than hanging out with Rick Hansen. So inspired. Here's a taste.
I like how we were cool with the bump.
We must talk about your World Accessibility Map. This is such a cool thing. So many people, when they speak about you, talk about how grateful they are, even for the little things like the dip in the sidewalk.
You know, the whole notion of an accessible and inclusive society is predicated on your sense of what do you view accessibility? And, you know, it's so variable from province to province, from country to country, because people underpin it by institutional regulations.
Right.
We'd like to flip that around and say, well, what do people with disabilities think? We want people to rate how they view buildings all around the world on a common website app, and to say, look, this is a 1, 2, 4, or 5-star rated accessibility building, and they can go online and punch out restaurants, Thai food, and it goes, you know, here are the 4- and 5-star restaurants, and they'll say, yeah, that's where I'm going to go.
Gone are the days that this is a stigma you can't do because you happen to be in a situation where you have to wheel from point A to point B. Tell the story about the soldiers that you were telling me about, the Afghan soldiers.
Well, you know, we were just in Valcartier. It's a CFB base, and there was 3,000 military troops ready to do a 10K training run. And for the first time in our ceremony, in that event, they included 10 disabled Afghan war veterans as part of their community, and they participated with them. And there was this incredible sense of pride and community that just because you have a disability doesn't mean you can't be included. Everyone can play a role. That's our vision, and that's our dream. And so what we want to do is we want to inspire millions of people around the world to believe in that, and then to look at the attitudinal and the physical barriers that will limit people from that end, and then just go and remove them.
We'll have more from Rick Hansen later on in the show. We were, just so you know, on location there at the Blesson Spinal Cord Research Center, which is the model for centers around the world in 70 countries. It's an amazing place. It truly is.
What a powerful figure he is. And Russ, as we go to weather, back in the day, Mama Banksy, she worked on the Man in Motion tour in the accounting department, and she would always praise the man for the inspiration of just working in an office and having that contact. He's always got a story, and he just captivates her room.
And I can't get over the energy he has. I mean, he is still going strong all these years later. An absolute inspiration for all regular folks to get involved, too. Good on Rick Hansen. He is fantastic, and why we're so proud of him around here. This weather report, guys, we'll get right into it right now. We're looking at some rain streaming in here on the Doppler radar. The business end of this weather front is coming in a few hours, so it does get worse for the end of the morning and the middle of the day.
Anniversary here?
25th anniversary. We're going to let you know how you can get involved in this relay. He is so inspiring and inspired. When you speak to him, he locks eyes with you. And when you see this interview, you'll see, I mean, people gathered around and just to listen to him. He was phenomenal. He's a true Canadian hero.
There's a lot of great Canadian heroes. You actually went to the streets to ask people their reactions about that very idea.
Right, and very common thread. Have a look.
Oh, I do. Terry Fox. Just a young kid has taken it under his wing to just try to prove that anybody can do anything anytime.
How about Michael Ondaatje?
Terry Fox.
Rick Hansen is a Canadian hero, and I think we probably have better facilities than most cities in the world just because of Rick Hansen.
I think he's a hero. He's a tremendous example for humanity, and not only that, I think he's a good person.
Certainly a good person, and you know what? All of the spotlight and the celebrity hasn't changed him a bit. If you've ever met the man, you see he's the same guy. And he just wants to inspire you to thank people who have inspired you and do something, anything, even if it's just keeping fit. It is really special what he puts out there, the energy that he puts out there.
Such a great attitude, and I can't wait to see that. So stay tuned in the 8 o'clock hour. As well, Michelle, we're giving away tickets to an upcoming Vancouver Canucks home game, but you need the answer from the question on Sportsnet Connected last night.
All right, hope they paid attention. Thank you very much, you guys.
Don. So, here we go, the special chat.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
The Blesson Spinal Cord Research Center, the building at 818 West 10th Avenue, the most beautiful facility you've ever seen. There are no wheelchair access signs anywhere in the building because all of it is accessible to everyone. That is one of the threads discussed with the hero, the man in motion himself, Rick Hansen. We have to start with the 25th anniversary. Speak to what's happening this year.
You know, this is 25 years since I wheeled around the world on my Man in Motion tour. And we're here to celebrate so much amazing success in this country and around the world towards a cure for spinal cord injury, and also making the world more accessible and inclusive for people with disabilities. And it's such an honor to be out there saying thank you to so many thousands of people who have made a difference. I'm just blown away.
We're going to tell our viewers how they can get involved in that relay. However, we must talk about your World Accessibility Map. This is such a cool thing. So many people, when they speak about you, talk about how grateful they are, even for the little things like the dip in the sidewalk.
You know, the whole notion of an accessible and inclusive society is predicated on your sense of what do you view accessibility? And, you know, it's so variable from province to province, from country to country, because people underpin it by institutional regulations.
Right.
We'd like to flip that around and say, well, what do people with disabilities think? We want people to rate how they view buildings all around the world on a common website app, and to say, look, this is a 1, 2, 4, or 5-star rated accessibility building, and they can go online and punch out restaurants, Thai food, and it goes, you know, here are the 4- and 5-star restaurants, and they'll say, yeah, that's where I'm going to go.
I love everything about Rick Hansen, and that's why you're on my wish list this week.
Thanks, Jody.
But it's really truly magic, because you lead by example and you inspire us to do that as well. Tell us about the virtual medal.
The medal that is being passed across the country, the Royal Canadian Mint medal, can only be touched by 7,000 people just because of logistical constraints. So we've introduced a virtual medal where people can come onto our site at rickhansen.com, and they can go in and they can actually go into this virtual medal site, and then they can identify someone in their life, anyone in the world who has inspired them or who they think has made a difference to make the world healthier and more inclusive, and send them a virtual medal to say, hey, you've inspired me, you know, keep up the great work, and pay it forward.
I love that. I also love the fact that we can get involved in your relay. How do we do that? Where do we go? Do we have to enter a contest?
You know, I absolutely can't wait until the relay comes through British Columbia. You know, it'll be coming into the BC border March the 21st of 2012. It'll end May 22nd of 2012 here in Vancouver. And there'll be, you know, literally thousands of people who participate in that relay, and people can actually still apply. If they've made a difference, they can go into rickhansenrelay.com and they can fill out a form and say, hey, I'd love to be part of this. Here's what I've done in my life, or here's someone else who I think should be part of it. And we'll look at all the applications. There's just been an overwhelming flood of people who want to be part of this. And, you know, I can't wait to see the stories, you know, and to listen to all the people in our communities who have made a difference, because, you know, they make us realize that our communities are built on people who care and who take time and in their own way have a role to play, whether they lead or follow or just live their life. They can and do make a difference, and they inspire us to think, well, what's possible for us? What can we do to keep things going as well?
Oh, making people think about just that. Rick Hansen, thank you so much.
Hey,
will you come back and talk
Jody?
to me about that relay?
Absolutely, I sure will.
Rick Hansen on Breakfast Television. Such a dream.
Thank you.
Nice work.
He makes it so easy. I mean, how do you not get goosebumps listening to that man speak?
What a week you've had. Trevor Linden, Kirk McLean, and now you finished it out with Rick Hansen.
And I get to sit next to you every day.
That's quite the treat.
I really do enjoy this, Riaz. Thank you very much.
You want to hug it out?
Hey, let's do it. All right. Whatever. Here, bump it out.
Let's bump it. Michelle.
I love the bump. You
We'll
do
go
that
back
so
over
well.
there. I'll give you one right through.
Me too. Okay. All right, double bump. Thanks so much, guys. Hopefully no bump ups in traffic, although we do have a few actually on the go right now. And, of course, some in the clearing stages as well.